Hey, what's going on, bro? So you want to go from this to this, but you don't really know how, or you've probably tried in the past, but you just haven't made much progress, or you can't just maintain your progress. So if that sounds like you, I got you, bro. I'm going to teach you how to get lean, stay lean, and everything you need to know on just losing fat. I want you to trust this as a full guide for fat loss because I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can, so this is the only video you need. So if you're either skinny or kind of skinny fat, I'd recommend that you don't watch this video and instead you try to bulk and put on some muscle first, around 10 to 15 pounds, and then go for a cut. But if you aren't skinny fat and you just want to get shredded or just get leaner, then this is the video for you. So the basics of fat loss is pretty much just subtracting a certain amount of calories from your maintenance calories. So your maintenance calories is the amount of calories you eat to maintain your current weight. So by subtracting from that maintenance calories, that is when you lose fat. And there's a much more that goes into this, but that's the basics of how this works. So how do we find our maintenance calories? So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to a calorie calculator online and just fill out the stats on it and you'll get a certain number. And this number will give you a rough estimate of what your maintenance calories are, right? Your maintenance calories are the calories that maintain your current weight. And you can either just use this number and try to shoot for that number, or you can do this. Get the amount of calories that you found on the calorie calculator, and you want to eat that amount of calories every single day for around 20 to 30 days. And eat the same types of food in those calories as well. So try to eat like a very similar meal every single day. And what you want to do is you want to weigh yourself at the end of the day every single day. If your weight goes up by around 3 to 5 pounds, you want to subtract that maintenance calorie calculator amount to around 150 to 200 calories less. And if you lose 3 to 5 pounds, you want to add around 100 to 200 calories extra. Okay, so how many calories should we decrease from our maintenance calories to find the calorie deficit? So if you're over 170, I would recommend that you shoot for around 700 to 750 calorie deficit. And if you're under 150, I would shoot for around a 500 calorie deficit. Now, this doesn't have to be exact, but I just think this is a good amount. And the reason why is because when you decrease this amount of calories, you'll make faster progress. Now, if this deficit makes you feel extremely hungry or fatigued all the time and you just feel like complete shit, there's two things we can do. The first thing is we can improve our diet, which I'll explain later in this video, but the second thing we can do is we can do this. So what you want to do is instead of decreasing 700 calories from your diet, on week 1, just go with like 400 calories. Then if you can complete that every single day for 7 days, then the next week you're going to want to do 600 calorie deficit. And then if you can complete that every single day for 1 week, then eventually you can move up to 750 or 700. So it's basically just like building your way up to the goal deficit until you kind of adapt to doing that. So I recommend just trying that out if the deficit feels extremely uncomfortable. If it doesn't, then just stick with like the standard deficit. And just a quick warning, like the first 1 to 2 weeks, you might lose kind of a lot of weight, like maybe even 10 pounds. And sadly, this isn't body fat. A lot of this is just water weight because of the change in your diet and the change in how much you eat. So just expect that. Don't get too excited because it's not going to be fat loss. So when you see that scale go down, you're still the same body fat percentage. You just lost some water weight. Okay, so how do we portion out our macros? So our macros are pretty much just like our proteins, our fats, and our carbs. So for proteins, when you're on a cut, I recommend that you eat around 1.5 to 2.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So this means that for every pound that you weigh, you eat around 1.8 to 2.7 grams of protein. And this may sound like a lot, and it is, because the reason why I recommend you eat a lot of protein when you're in a cut is because when you're eating less food, there's a chance you might lose a little bit of muscle, and you don't want to lose that muscle. So to prevent that, we can just eat a lot more protein, so we're making sure that we're not losing muscle. So that's why I recommend you eat a lot of protein when you're in a cut. Now, there's different qualities of proteins. Not all proteins are created equal. So I'll show this list on the screen, and this list basically just shows which proteins your body actually uses better than others. So a lot of people tell you to not eat carbs. They're horrible for you. They're evil. They're the devil. I don't agree with that. Carbs are extremely important for your energy levels and the qualities of your workouts. So I'd recommend you eat around 0.5 grams of carbs per pound of body weight. So every pound of body weight that you weigh, you eat around half a gram of carbs. When you don't eat carbs and you're on a cut, you're gonna feel like you wanna kill yourself because you're always constantly exhausted and your workouts are gonna suck. So here's what I recommend that you do. So I recommend that you eat the bulk of your carbs throughout the day before and after your workout. And it's also important to take note of the glycemic index of carbs. So this pretty much just means how fast your body digests certain carbs. So A high glycemic carb is a carb that your body digests quickly, and a low glycemic carb is a carb that your body takes longer to digest. And we can use these to our advantage when we're planning out our workouts and just things throughout the day. So here's a list of some high glycemic carbs and some low glycemic carbs, and you can just see what these are. So an example meal that I eat before a workout that I have is a banana and toast. So the toast is high glycemic, so my body will instantly use these carbs and give me energy for the workout. And the banana is a little bit lower glycemic, so what this will do is it'll give me the energy later on in the workout, so I'll feel less tired during the workout and I won't crash in the workout. So it's a pretty good thing to do. So I'd recommend before you do a workout, you eat something simple like toast and jam and a banana, or it could be a banana and pretzels, really whatever it is. Try to just have one high glycemic carb to give you energy for the beginning of the workout, and then a low glycemic carb that'll kick in for the end of the workout or the middle of the workout. And after your workout, I recommend that you eat high glycemic carbs. The reason why you want to eat high glycemic carbs after every workout is because it helps prevent muscle protein breakdown. This is basically just losing out on the potential to build muscle and recover properly. So when you eat high glycemic carbs after a workout, around 30 to 100 grams of it, you'll actually have much better recovery, and this will help you just gain muscle. So there's around 2 or 3 things we can do with preventing hunger pains. The first thing is eating low calorie dense foods. So this pretty much just means foods that are lower in calories, but they fill you up and make you feel full. So eating low calorie foods that are dense basically just makes you feel full without eating a bunch of extra calories. So it basically just prevents you from feeling like you're starving. So think about it like this. Imagine 100 calories in maple syrup or chocolate, and then imagine 100 calories in broccoli or blueberries. The amount of broccoli that you'll eat that's 100 calories is way more than the amount of calories you'll eat in chocolate. So you basically just need to choose the foods you eat wisely, because some have a bigger return on investment than other ones. While chocolate is super low because you get a bunch of calories but you don't feel full at all, while broccoli is a high one because you can eat a lot of it but not eat many calories. So the easiest way to take a bunch of calories out of your diet without feeling like you're starving is to just take out a lot of the oils you eat, a lot of the greasy kind of things, a lot of the sauces you eat, a lot of the sugary drinks, because a lot of these don't even make you feel full, but they have a ton of calories. So simply just by cutting out on a few of these, you'll be taking out an extra 100 to 200 calories out of your daily diet, which is huge. Okay, so here's a list of low calorie dense foods. So they have a big bang for your buck. They make you feel full without getting you fat. So the first one is lean beef. This is 250 calories per 100 grams. The next one is eggs, 78 calories per egg. Mushrooms, 22 calories per 100 grams. Broccoli, 32 calories per 100 grams. One baked potato only has 161 calories. Cauliflower, 155 grams of cauliflower only has 55 calories. And 1 cup of strawberry only has 53 calories. And another honorable mention is popcorn. So I'll leave a whole list in the description so you can take a look at it, and you can have a whole list of certain foods you want to choose from that are good for going on a cut. So a good rule of thumb when you're on a cut to portion out your different macros is to do this. So around 40 to 50% of your food and calories should come from proteins, around 15 to 25% should come from carbs, and then around 15 to 25% should come from fats. This is what I do. I don't follow it exactly, but it's a good sort of rough estimate to follow. Okay, so this next one is huge, and this one is binge eating. This one destroyed my progress for years, and I never got to the point that I wanted to get to because I kept on binge eating. I'd make a little bit of progress and then just binge eat. So I know how much it sucks. There's 2 things that I did that really helped. The first one is intermittent fasting. So you notice when you binge eat, you decide to eat one snack, and then that one snack becomes a whole bag of chips, and then that whole bag becomes 3 bags of chips. So it's a lot easier just to eat nothing than it is to eat one snack, because once you eat one, it's hard to control yourself to only eat one. So I recommend you do some intermittent fasting. And the main benefits of intermittent fasting for me is that it helps me prevent from binge eating, and it also can increase your metabolism up by a little bit. And it's also good for your testosterone levels, which helps with fat loss. So here's how you do intermittent fasting simply. So I do a 16-hour fast. So I sleep for 8 hours, that's half of the fast. And then when I wake up, I don't eat for 8 hours. So I wake up at 5 a.m. and then at 1 a.m. I eat my first meal, and I eat a massive meal that has a lot of carbs, fats, and proteins in it. And that helps me a lot from binge eating because it just gives me a period of time where I don't eat at all, and that just really prevents me from just, hogging out on snack. Now, if your binge eating is really bad and you do it a lot and you feel like you're eating yourself to death almost, I recommend that you do this. So chances are you're not just binge eating because you like food. There's probably a bigger problem. And usually with almost every bad habit, there's symptoms of the real problem, which is bad mental health. So you need to improve your mental health first, and then from that, it'll be much easier to quit your bad habits. So I would recommend you just find out what it is in your life that you're trying to cover up from, using binge eating as a cope. There's probably some sort of depression, anxiety, insecurity, worries about life, stress, something that's causing you to keep on binge eating and triggering this problem. Another thing that I recommend doing is just improving your mindfulness, which is basically your ability to stay present in the moment and aware of what you're doing. And a lot of times when we binge eat, we don't even think about it. We just, like, our lizard brain just turns on and we kind of wake up from it and we're like, oh shit, I did it again. So a good way to prevent this is from meditating daily. So start off with like 5 minutes and then go around to doing 20 minutes every single day. This will just make you a lot more aware of your actions, which will make it easier to prevent from binge eating. So I recommend that you just do an intermittent fast for 16 hours a day and meditate every single day. Those two things help me so much with binge eating, and if you try it, I'm sure it'll help with you too. So this is the most slept on technique, and that is improving your testosterone levels and just increasing them by a lot. And when you do this, it'll be much easier to lose fat. And no one talks about the correlation that testosterone has with fat loss, but there is one, and we can take advantage of this. It's not about the foods and the calories and the exercises you do. It's about how those things trigger the hormones that'll help you lose fat. And one of those is testosterone. So we need to improve this, and I'll just rapid fire methods that I recommend that are the best for improving your testosterone. Basically, testosterone will speed up the process of you losing fat by a lot. So I'm just gonna rapid fire some techniques on how to improve your testosterone. So the first one is vitamins and minerals. Most people are extremely deficient in their minerals, and this is just a super basic thing. So I recommend you don't take multivitamins because most of these don't have enough of each vitamin. Instead, just take singular vitamins. So I recommend you have vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, and vitamin A. Most of us are deficient in those. Just get some pills, get some food, and just eat those and get a lot of it. And that'll help you with your testosterone levels by a lot, bro. The next is competition. Competition increases testosterone. There's studies out there. This is one of the single best things you can do. Our brains are just wired to like competition, and it's part of us humans. You need to have some sort of competition. And especially when you win, that'll increase your testosterone. The next is proper sleep. You need to have at least 8 hours of sleep every single day. If you don't, then you're doing something wrong. You need to have proper sleep. The next one is eating healthy fats. These will help with your hormone levels and help produce hormones and help with recovery, which is super important. The next one is hydration. So many of us are dehydrated and we don't even know how much this affects our health. You need to be hydrated. This is such a basic one, but so many of us are just dehydrated retards. So be hydrated. The next one is clapping cheeks. This is like one of the highest increasers of testosterone. I mean, testosterone is literally the reproduction hormone, so start clapping cheeks. The next one is reducing stress. So the stress chemical is cortisol. This is basically the enemy of testosterone. Cortisol just basically deletes testosterone. So you need to help reduce stress. I recommend doing meditation, improving your mental health, and just cutting away from social media. That helped reduce a lot of my stress. The next one is there's a study that showed that this vitamin called B18 increases testosterone by 200%. And B18 is made from choline, which is found in eggs, beef liver, and salmon. So you don't need to take a B18 supplement. You just need to eat foods that will help produce choline, which will then help produce B18, which will increase your testosterone by a lot. Okay, so exercises. What do? Do we do HIIT cardio? Do we just go on jogs? Do we go on walks? Do we do cycling? What the fuck do we do? So it really doesn't matter what kind of exercise you do. What I recommend is you just do some sort of resistance training, whether it's calisthenics, weightlifting, something to help build up your muscles. The reason why is because when you build your muscles, your metabolic rate gets higher. So basically, the amount of calories your body just burns from doing nothing will be higher. And that'll make it easier to burn more calories without doing anything. So when you gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, you're gonna burn 100, 150 more calories per day from just doing nothing because you just have more muscle, which is an awesome hack. So you can get leaner in your sleep. And I experienced this when I gained muscle. So do some sort of resistance training that'll build up muscle and get you stronger. I have a full at-home calisthenics routine in the description. It's for free. You don't need to put your email in. So that'll be in the link. You could also just go to the gym, whatever you want to do. I recommend having one of those and then having some sort of cardio routine, because cardio just burns a shit ton of calories. Most cardio is boring as fuck, so I recommend just finding some sort of cardio that's fun. Like, I do jujitsu and a little bit of MMA, and I think that's super fun. So I don't even think of it like working out, but it burns a fuck ton of calories. Maybe you like playing sports, just play that more. Maybe you like skateboarding. Whatever it is, a lot of these high intensity like cardio activities are fun, so it doesn't even feel like exercise. Why would you do like a bunch of box jumps or like hill sprints when you can just go skateboarding, or you can just go MMA fighting, which is way more fun? So try to find something you enjoy. Also, another cracked exercise to help you lose fat is jumping rope. This burns like 250 to 300 calories every 15 minutes. Like, you'll be tired by just jumping rope for 5 minutes. So if you do this for 15 minutes a day, you're gonna burn a shit ton of calories. And it's pretty chill. I just do it while listening to music. So basically just do that. I would recommend you have one sort of weightlifting or calisthenics routine and then a cardio activity. So what I do is I just do my calisthenics activity, and then I do jujitsu, a little bit of jump rope, and then I do a walk later at night. This will blow your mind, but running 1 mile burns the same amount of calories as walking 1 mile. So if you're super lazy, or you just really don't want to run, you can just go on a walk and listen to some music, and you'll burn the same amount of calories as you would on a run. So here's the routine that I use for my fat loss. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find your maintenance calories. Then what you want to do is do the 30-day to 20-day thing where you're just testing out your maintenance calories, which I mentioned earlier in the video. And then you want to subtract around 500 to 700 calories from your diet. The more you subtract, the harder it will be to maintain it, but the faster you'll lose fat. And the opposite with that is true as well. And then step 2 is to do an intermittent fast for around 16 hours. So sleep for 8 hours and then don't eat for 8 hours after you wake up. And then that'll be a 16-hour fast. And then what I do is I eat my first high carb and high protein, high fat meal at 1 p.m. And then I hit a workout. And then after that, I eat another like small meal of carbs that's high glycemic after the workout. And then at around 5 p.m., I do a high protein meal that I eat that has a lot of nutrients and all the nutrients I need for good testosterone. And then at 7 p.m., I do jujitsu or some sort of fighting, and then I go on a short walk. And then I make sure I just get at least 8 hours of sleep that are quality hours of sleep. And that's pretty much all you need to follow a routine for fat loss. You just need to exercise more and eat quality foods. Make sure you don't binge eat. Keep your testosterone levels well, and then also just do some sort of exercise you enjoy. So the last tactic is how to look leaner. So this is pretty much just looking like you're a lower body fat than you actually are. So if you're like 30% body fat or 25% body fat, this doesn't really work, but if you're already sort of lean, then you can just implement this hack and it'll just make you look leaner without having to cut a bunch of extra weight. So the first thing is just build bigger ab muscles. Like, this will make you look a lot leaner than you actually are. Like, I'm probably around 13% body fat right now. I just finished my lean bulk, and I look leaner than I am because my ab muscles are big. So there's cross-country runners who are like 5% body fat, but you don't see abs on them because they don't have big ab muscles. While there's strong men who are like 30% body fat, but they still have abs because they built the muscles. So treat your abs like any other muscle. You don't need to do these weird like 5-minute workouts. Treat them like you're just doing it like any other muscle. You're building any other muscle. Treat your abs like that. Next thing you want to do is reduce bloating. So there's a lot of foods that cause bloating. The main ones are just eating a ton of carbs. So we're probably not going to have much of that because we're changing our diet up a little bit. The second is taking out alcohol. And the third is taking out salts. All of these just basically bloat you up and make you hold a lot of water weight, which will make you look puffier and fatter than you actually are. So by just decreasing this by a little bit, this will help make you look leaner. And also, drinking a ton of water every single day, around like 3 liters, will also make you look leaner. Now, there's also some foods you can eat that'll help you lose water weight, which will make you look leaner than you actually are. And those are called natural diuretics. So the best one is coffee. This will simply just flush out a lot of the unnecessary water weight you have in your body and will make you look leaner. Also, coconut water is pretty good, and kiwis are pretty good for this. And there's a ton of them, but just look up natural diuretics. And I recommend just coconut, kiwis, and coffee. Those are great. And the last one to have like better looking veins is to eat beet powder. So it's kind of weird. It's like the beetroot, but these actually make you look a lot veinier because it helps increase the blood flow in your body, making your veins look bigger. And also, while staying hydrated, eating healthy carbs and eating beet powder, you're gonna look a lot more vascular, which will make you look a lot more shredded. So I know this video was long as fuck, but I wanted to provide as much information as I could so you can basically have a successful fat loss journey and get lean for the summer. So I'll have a bunch of links in the descriptions for like dietary foods, workout routines, just all the actionable steps you can take from this video, simplified. So after this video, you can have sort of a document to look at to implement all these steps for free. You're not gonna pay for it, no email. That's pretty much it, bro. Hope you have a good one.